mutt
Yeah,
jersey.
Dude, this jersey's
literally.
sick though. I went to like
It
this
is, yeah.
pop-up shop downtown, and this jersey was $30.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, not a Jersey podcast, but I went to
That
no.
was a Jersey podcast.
not a Jersey
Imagine.
podcast, but
Not
I
a
went
Jersey
to
podcast, but
Barcelona
mm,
last year, and I found a Michael Jordan White Sox jersey.
Okay,
And I was
okay,
and I was like,
that
that
would
was
be
a
a
cool
sick
sign.
jersey.
not racist.
Yeah.
What was it? A black guy on the street with like a million different
No, no,
things.
no, no, no,
Wow.
no, it wasn't. It was
Because
it
when I
was
went
in
Barcelona
it.
first off.
When I went to Barcelona, dude, it was like every major intersection there was a black guy selling like just a bunch of like fake merchandise, like knockoff stuff,
Really?
and it
No,
looked pretty good.
this was in a like a
A store?
thrift store. Like it was an actual
Oh.
thrift store, and
Oh,
this
it's
this
legit.
this thrift store had like 3 floors. It was one of the nicest thrift stores I've probably seen. And it was just a random. It was a random jersey section, and it was just a random.
Did you cop it?
No, it's double XL, and it was
Ah.
$250 or 250 euros.
Dude,
Yeah.
there's some cool shops like that, but then they gouge you at the price, man. It's nuts, especially Barcelona. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
That's how they
expensive.
get you.
Yeah.
So, what was your guys' like favorite game of the week, like watching?
I want to say Ravens Bengals.
Yeah,
That one I
think
always
so,
find
too.
those games entertaining.
Me personally, it was the Arizona game. I couldn't,
Yeah, the
I
Cardinals
couldn't
game.
believe,
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't believe they overtook San Fran in the end. Like that Brock
I'm
Purdy interception.
shocked
I was
by
so
that.
fired up.
Yeah, no, I think that was the
Holy
only
shit.
other game that I watched because I didn't want to watch Dallas and Pittsburgh. I did not want to watch the Sunday night game.
Dude,
Oh,
I
that
watched
was
it.
not-
I
not
watched
sure.
Yeah.
I watched it. I turned it on. I'm like, crap. I am a little late into the game. Turn on the game. There, it's like 40 minutes left for warm ups.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was delayed.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
so
dude,
delayed.
I watched the game. It didn't end until after midnight our time. Like,
There's a new stat that Dak Prescott's the first ever player to throw 2 picks in one game in 2 different days.
I saw that stat. I was dying of laughter.
Yeah.
Jalen
That's funny.
Tolbert in that game had he had
had
a
a
better
game.
game than CeeDee Lamb. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dallas,
mean-
Dallas is just one of those teams just kind of chugging along, just going with the flow. Like, they're nothing.
They just get their wins.
Yeah.
Nothing
That was
special.
they do get their wins. I mean, yeah, because I was watching the Bills game, so I didn't watch really any other 1 o'clock games. So that Cardinals game was definitely the best game out of all the
I
4
feel
o'clock
like they
games.
gotta start putting the better games at better times. Like it kind of annoys me that they put like so many good games at the same time, and then like the 4 o'clock slate comes and it's like one good game maybe.
Next week, I think it's the Giants against the Bengals Saturday night or Sunday night football.
Are they
Like,
going to
that's
do
like-
Saturday night games again this year?
They will
Yeah,
later in the
December.
season. Yeah.
December.
Man, I love that. Like, there's like just random football
Yeah.
games on Saturdays.
There's also, I forget where I saw this, but there's like 53 straight days of football from NCAA and
I saw that
and
stat, too.
NFL. Like from like last week until the next 50 something days, there's straight days of football.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it's college football's been pretty entertaining. Who do you guys think's going to be first overall so far in the draft?
There'll be a QB.
You think so?
No, it's gonna be Travis Hunter.
I was thinking Travis Hunter too, but like them.
The only problem is you draft him and it's like, do you play him off? Do you play him as receiver? Do you play him
Exactly.
as DB? But like some teams might not want to take on that burden of choosing.
Statistically, right now though, the best player in the college football right now is Alshon Jantty, dude. That guy, or sorry, Ashton Jantty, dude. That guy is absurd. I get it. He's playing in Div 2, but dude, he's putting
Doesn't matter.
up numbers.
Is he in Div 2? Is Boise State in Div 2?
I don't think they're in Div 2. I just think they're in like a very weak conference.
I think
Sorry,
they're just
yeah.
in a weaker conference.
Not Div 2,
Yeah.
but like he's not in a
They're
Yeah,
not
like
playing the
top 12.
SEC or anything.
No.
They don't play anyone ranked really. I feel like.
But still, like it's still to do that at an NCAA level, at a Div 1 level.
Oh yeah.
He's on
Yeah.
pace to break every single rushing record. Like Barry Sanders holds quite
in
a few of
FBS,
them.
Yeah.
He's projected to break every single one statistically, which is absurd. Like his run after his rush after tackle, is like
Because run after contact.
Yeah, run after contact.
Yeah.
The numbers are just like insane, man. It's nuts.
I wonder if he's gonna win Heisman.
You see how he stands in the backfield too? Like he doesn't even set up like with his like hands on his knees or anything.
Sets up like a punter waiting for a punt.
Yeah, he does. And like he walks up to get the ball, just looks around and goes, "All right, I'll go this way."
Yeah, you know what though? I watch it week after week, like these running backs, like especially like when the main guy's injured or like you get like the second, third string, they run through that gap like it's their day job, and like they don't read at all. Like if their run is to go through the A gap, they're going through the A gap. Whereas like a running back like Le'Veon Bell back in the day, like man, there's something to be said about like patiently waiting for like that right opportunity to like make a read on the run, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Janty does that like tremendously. Like he's very patient in the backfield. So.
Well, we'll see if it translates to the next level.
And what's crazy is he's still not projected to be a first-round pick, which is absurd.
No.
But it just goes to show the running backs.
Because running backs,
Yeah.
But like then we had like not even like a decade ago, Christian McCaffrey, like fifth overall was it? Fourth.
But like the last like high running back was what, Bijan?
I think.
And look how
I think
that's
it was.
working out,
I think
right?
Saquon was 2. Like that was.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like the last like recently high was maybe Bijan, and even
it
then
was
it's like
Bijan.
not working out as well right now. So kind of a changing of the tide of wide receivers are more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, so let's start with the Chiefs and the Saints game. This was another Chiefs very memorable.
You want to start with the Monday night game?
Oh, you know what? I'm getting them backwards.
Yeah.
Was the Thursday
Start with
game?
Thursday. Falcons and Bucks.
Falcons and Bucks. Yeah.
An absolute barn burner, actually.
This one was nice. Great game.
A lot of good games this week. Can't lie.
Yeah. There was a lot of like down to the wire games. This one was like, man, Kirk went nuclear.
Yeah, but take into consideration, he had 50-something pass attempts.
So much. He got like 500 yards, which is like kudos to him. Like he's killing it, but like.
But fantasy-wise, if you're looking at these stats, you're thinking. Everybody's thinking, oh, like London's getting all these targets. Yeah, of course he's getting all these targets if you throw 50-something times. Like,
And Pitt's still barely got any targets.
Yeah.
This is Pitt's best game, but it was still like.
He got targets at the beginning, and then they're like, forget this. Let's go to our other guys.
It's funny. He got his first catch went for like 32, 31.
Yeah.
And then just kind of muddled his way through, but.
Yeah, I think Pitts is he's obviously a freakish athlete. Guy's 6'6", 230, but he doesn't
absolute tank at Florida.
He doesn't.
I don't get what's going on.
He doesn't create separation. Like if you watch like each play, if it's a hitch route, he just kind of turns and just waits, just sits there. He doesn't like you watch Brock Bowers. If he runs a hitch route and he's not open, he's kind of moving around. Same with Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? Like even Sam Laporta last year. Like. I feel like that's what separates a good tight end receiving wise from like a mediocre one.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but I mean, looking at the overall picture though with Atlanta, they're looking good. I think they're forming pretty well.
They're kind of cleaning up now. They seem to be hitting their stride.
And even against
the first couple weeks.
Yeah, even against KC the last whenever that was, they basically lost off of a call.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean they've been playing good football, and Bucks they almost did it. Godwin gets so many damn targets.
He's so good.
He's good. Like Godwin is good.
Like him back in the slot is killing it.
Also, Bucky Irving is definitely RB1.
Yeah, right.
But I will say though I don't know if he'll ever actually reach that RB1 status because he had a fumble this game. He on the ground. He didn't do better than Rachaad White in this game. But without Rachaad White's 50-yard run, Rachaad White averaged 2 yards a carry. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a split 50-50 backfield all the way through. But Rachaad White he's nothing special. He's always been a volume guy.
You do also got to consider the fact that they were trailing most of the game, so they were in that pass mode. Right?
Pass mode heavy.
Yeah, but they still got 10 rushes each. And had similar numbers.
Sure. Yeah,
but you're right. It is going to be a split back. Like it's not gonna. It's not gonna not be a split back.
A 1A 1B kind of situation there.
Yeah, for sure. Just whoever has the hot hand that night
Yeah.
is gonna dominate. But yeah, I mean Falcons 36, Bucks 30. A great way to start week 5.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
that
that's for
walk,
sure.
like who was it? I can't remember the guy that scored the winning touchdown, like a random. Like it was
Oh, I can't even
The
remember his
ra-
name. Hope or what
yeah,
was his name?
like he just came in because like what
Never seen that guy in my life.
London was hurt or something. Like someone random was like out for a series and he walk off gets a home run. So
What? Let's talk about the resurgence of Darnell Mooney.
Mooney.
Yeah, man, he looks great.
he's good. He's good. It's just last year was just the Bears couldn't hit him. Like him and Fields had so many missed looks
Yeah,
that like you can tell like he was gonna have a good season once he had actually a QB that can hit him in stride. But
and
And they still
another
have
thing,
Rondell Moore on IR too. Like when he comes
yeah,
back, like I
yeah,
mean,
it's gonna be Bucks and Falcons are gonna be competing for first in that division. So it's gonna be a good end of year for both of them to see who wins it.
I feel like Rondell Moore is done though.
after that injury,
That's pretty. That's he had a
yeah,
pretty like his entire knee is blown,
it's so hard to come back from
and he
unless
was
your
never
name's Nick
really
Chubb.
like excellent at anything. This is from a Cardinals fan that wanted him to succeed. Like
Yeah.
he
True, I
never
guess.
really like made that jump. You know, he's always been like super mid. So
Yeah, I just meant from
Yeah.
like a wide receiver 2-3 perspective. Like Mooney, talk about separation. Mooney gets separation. Like he's
Yeah.
when he runs out routes, like his breaks are like no. It's hard for a DB to keep up with that unless you're a top tier DB. London's
Mhm.
a London's a good receiver. Pitts kind of
Yeah.
does his thing. It's like I mean,
it's actually hilarious that how little Bijan Robinson has done this year, though. Like
I
everyone
think it's
thought it
just
was an
Algier cutting in.
everyone thought it was Arthur Smith. That's what the reason why he wasn't getting the volume and the game playing kind of around him for the offense, and it's clearly not. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I want to also put into perspective like from like a coaching standpoint. I bet that Bijan, just because of the athlete that he is, gets game planned around so much. Like
Yeah.
just to make sure that he doesn't get the ball in his hands, make sure that there's always someone near him, make sure that
Yep.
even on swing passes, right? Even on flats, just to make sure that there's always someone near him because I mean, that guy with
You don't
that guy
think
with open space is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
this is like a super random question, but do you think like this is like completely off topic, but like a team like Baltimore in terms of like game plan, like obviously teams game plan around Derrick Henry the same way, but then they have to worry about Lamar Jackson in a pass play. So like
Of course.
is
Why do you think
how much more
so
challenging
my
is it?
counter to that is why do you think San Fran has the success they do, even with a subpar, or I wouldn't say subpar, even with a quarterback that doesn't check every single box off, right? There's so many weapons in San Francisco to worry about, whether it's McCaffrey, whether it's Debo, whether it's Ayuk, even Kittle performs at a high level. Their O-line's great, right? So, I mean, you have so many things you got to plan for. Okay, if this doesn't work, we'll just do this. Same with Baltimore.
Yeah.
If the run game's not working, yeah, Lamar can't really like he's not the best passer, but they got guys who can catch the ball and run in space. Zay Flowers can do that. I mean, Lamar can run himself. But then you look at a team just like Atlanta, their quarterback's one dimensional. Like he's not going to take off and run.
Yeah.
They're like if you shut down the run, like we just saw it last game. Of course they won, but they threw the ball 54 times. You have a team who who has a good secondary. They shut that down. Now you have to run the ball, and if you just game plan around stopping that, it changes the game for so many people. So, or for so many players. So that's just my take on why Bijan doesn't perform because
They don't have to. He's the only person they have to worry about in the backfield running around.
exactly, and that's probably why Algier gets a decent amount of yards still too. Is I'm not taking away from the player he is, but I'm just saying he doesn't get game planned for as much as Bijan does.
Like
So
when
he
he gets
probably
inserted, they kind of write it off like, okay, he's probably pass blocking here
yeah,
type thing.
or they're just like not as worried. Like the backer who's maybe covering him will just kind of drop a little more.
Yeah.
Or won't pay as much attention as to Bijan as to he would Bijan. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's like just little things like that. But I mean, at the same time, you guys are so right that Bijan has been underperforming for sure. It's like if maybe it is a coaching thing. Maybe they should find ways to get him the ball more. All that being said, though, a win's a win, right?
It
Yeah,
seems
we'll
like
see what
Atlanta
happens.
has so many guys on that offense that were such excellent prospects coming out of college, and for whatever reason, they just haven't put up the numbers since they've been drafted. Like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan
Yeah.
Robinson, all of them have like flashes of greatness, but they haven't had that consistent, like, you know, floor. They're super
Mm-hmm.
lackluster.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
so
like after
volatile.
this, then it'll kind of be the true test on like how they really are, right? Because like they actually have an offensive coach where it's like last year they had Arthur Smith. Like, not saying he's not an offensive coach, but like he's not the same like coaching mindset
No, he's more
of like
he's more
the
like let's get
McVay
everyone
branch, right?
involved. I don't care how big your name
Exactly.
is. We're
Yeah,
gonna
Yeah,
he's a Tim Bitch coach. That's for
yeah.
sure.
Like he wants,
Everybody
he's
gets to
everyone like
play.
everyone gets their fair share. Like he's okay with
Yeah.
that,
Honestly,
right? But
last year it felt like you know when you were like played like sports growing up and you had that kid that his dad was a coach. It felt like Algier was freaking Arthur Smith's
Yeah.
son.
yeah, coach's
Yeah.
son. Yeah,
That's exactly what it was. That's hilarious.
Oh man, yeah, this was a good game. Great game to see Kirk kind of be as comfortable as he was in this game. So good win for the
yeah.
Falcons. Let's move on to the Jets and the Vikings. Man, this game was snooze fest, but Aaron Rodgers just doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers.
I wouldn't
He's
call it a
old.
snooze fest.
He's old
I'm
though. Like I don't know.
I wouldn't call it a snooze fest. If you like offense, yeah, it definitely wasn't your game compared to the
The
last one we just
defense is
talked
solid.
about. But I mean, I think it was like it was an all right game to watch. It was close. It came down to the last minute. 63-year-old Stephon Gilmore came down with the pick.
I think
And
it was just one of those games that it was very sloppy on both ends. Even the Vikings offense, it was sloppy. Sam Darnold didn't look,
Yeah.
you know,
like a top
like he has
quarterback.
this year.
No.
It was
He
statistically
was
his
missing
worst
a lot of
games.
throws.
But this
Yep.
was against
Yeah.
his former team, so kind of.
And in London too,
That
right? So you're
plus
traveling.
like wasn't it kind of like bad weather a bit in that stadium? I can't remember, but like I feel like it was like kind of like wet or
I think
something.
it was
But
like it was like a damp kind of like
yeah.
chilly
So
kind of. But let's touch on the Robert Saleh firing. What do you guys think?
I think that's a scapegoat move, to be honest.
I think Aaron Rodgers walked into the office and said, "I want him
Yeah,
gone."
that's literally what I think it is.
Well,
Because if
they're
anyone
not
should
gonna
have been
fire
gone, it
Hackett
should have been
though. They're
Hackett.
not gonna
No,
fire
it
him
should have
though
been Hackett.
because
It
that's
should have
Aaron
been
Rodgers'
Hackett. Let's be
guy.
honest.
But it's
It
funny
doesn't
though
matter.
because he's a defensive head coach. They fired
Yeah,
the head
that,
coach and then promoted the defensive
yeah,
guy to
exactly.
head coach, the
Yep,
DC to head coach. It's like,
yep,
what's that really
yep,
going to solve? Because he's been running your system, or he's been running his
exactly.
system. So like, it's like nothing changed except now they don't
The
have a
coach.
leader telling them what to do.
What's
Yeah,
crazy
it's
too
pretty
is
much.
the way that they handled it. Robert Saleh went into the stadium Monday morning and they're like, you can't be here. You're not here. You're not the coach anymore. Like they escorted him out of the building. He didn't even
I
know.
see that. It gave me a bitter taste doing that because I'm just like, really? Like,
He's been
you
the
act
coach
like the
here the
guy's
last
been
couple
that bad.
years.
Yeah. Like, it's not like he can't even say goodbye to the players and stuff. Like, it's kind of like a kind of a crappy move,
And this
but
is a coach
That's the
that
NFL,
brought
though. That's business.
this is the coach that
like,
brought a
it is.
Zach Wilson
But
led offense to
yep,
2 seasons of 7-10. Like realistically,
exactly.
that's not that bad.
The defense isn't the problem here, so like the fact that he got that treatment on his way out, it's kind of like, okay, like what's really being done in this organization, but whatever.
But it also could have been, no culture. It could have been nobody likes the head coach. We don't know what happens behind closed doors, right?
That's true.
Like if you're part of a team that you don't believe in the head coach, you're not going to play to your full potential. Whereas now everybody's just going to listen to Aaron Rodgers, and everybody loves Aaron Rodgers. So I think it might work out for the better. We'll see Monday night against the Bills.
See, but I
Statistically,
don't even
this
think
team
everyone loves Aaron Rodgers though. Like honestly, like think about it this way: if you're a receiver, every single time you fuck up, this guy feels the need to like give you like a death stare, like you just killed someone. Like, why would I want to try and go even more crazy and try and like up my game for someone like that? Like, Rodgers' leadership skills suck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they actually suck with the Jets. So like the fact that we're acting like Rodgers has been this like great leader on this team, it's like I don't see much change happening here. But
So I don't think he's been a great leader, definitely because he's been on the team for we'll say like 6 games now, five and a
yeah,
quarter games. But I do think that he does make everybody around him better because of how great he is. And
it's true.
of course, like we're not talking about like Tom Brady great, but I do think he has that Tom Brady-esque type
He's the
of
top
like
10 quarterback of all time, no question.
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
He could even
I get
creep
that.
in. He could even creep him into that top 6, 5 category if you're a diehard
Yeah.
Rodgers fan, right? But at the same time, it's like just playing around him will make you better. Usually he doesn't screw up that much. I mean, he's 3 picks last game, right? Is like that's
Hmm.
pretty ugly, but at the same time, he just doesn't have that chemistry with anybody. Now, bringing it to this question, with Devontae Adams, with all that talk, you think there's a chance he goes to Green Bay?
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
Green
Green
Bay
Bay. I
actually
think he'd
does
go
it.
to the Jets
Like
before.
Or sorry,
Jets,
that's what I
yeah.
meant. That's what I meant. You think he goes to the
I don't think
Jets?
the Jets do it.
Dude, I honestly, the team that needs Devontae Adams more than any team in the league is the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo
Dude,
Bills.
they
Yes.
need him so bad, man.
You know who'd
Yes.
be a great fit for the Bills?
Stephon
I
Stephon
just
Diggs.
watched Stephon Diggs. Yeah,
Yeah.
just such
It's
a
like they should have
such
paid
a
him or something. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know what happened.
Yeah, well,
No,
no,
Khalil Shakir needs to come
he
back.
he
Our
he,
wide receiver
Yeah.
one.
he needed to go
Yeah.
though. Like it was time. But like
Yeah. Well,
Devontae Adams, I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. It sounds like he wants to remain with a quarterback that he's played with before, either Derek Carr
go to the Saints.
Well, it's not the Saints anymore. Derek Carr's out. So
yeah. It's just like I don't know. Honestly, for Devontae Adams' sake, and the Raiders' sake, I wish they would have just held on to Derek Carr and just continued with him. They would have been way better off.
yes.
Got booger eating Gardner Minshew on the sidelines.
They don't
Like
even know who
he's
to start.
And you
benched,
got like,
and then you got this
and your
guy.
defense isn't even that bad. Like you have a kind of a
No.
decent defense. Like it's not like terrible, but it's not the best. But like you have Max Crosby who's wasting his career.
Yeah.
He's just a dog.
And then you got this QB coming in, Aiden O'Connell. Guy looks like you know the guys in high school like that wore Sperry's and they played all the sports but they sucked. Like that's what he looks like to me. Like, he just looks like a goof. They don't
Yeah,
both.
I mean-
They both of them are not starting caliber quarterbacks, and you're
No.
basically wasting the end of Devontae Adams' career.
Aiden O'Connell is definitely Arthur Smith's son.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, that's him.
exactly what
That's
it is.
him.
That's him. I know. I'm telling you, that's him.
Yeah, Arthur Smith's
man.
paying Antonio Pierce under the table.
Yep.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. What were we talking about? What game? The Jets and
Yeah.
Minnesota looked all right. They
Minnesota
did
got
the
another
job.
win. They're the only team that's
Yeah.
or them and the Chiefs are the only
Well, them
undefeated
and the
teams.
Chiefs.
But
Yeah. We'll see.
let's move to the Panthers and the Bears. What you started off, Jeff?
This game I didn't expect much, to be honest. Like I expected a blowout loss, and that's kind of what we got. So I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't expecting too much. It was like a DJ Moore revenge game, but Caleb Williams actually didn't look too bad. So
This
It was the DJ Moore revenge game, eh?
yeah,
That's exactly what it was.
This was
Yeah.
the first game that I think people's expectations were met for this offense. You know, they finally looked like they clicked.
yeah,
Although
Yep.
it's against the Panthers.
Mind you, it's against the Panthers.
So it's
Yeah,
like-
Panthers.
sorry, Jeff. I am totally. That's an asterisk to me. Like
Yeah,
Caleb Williams
exactly.
hasn't proven shit to me because it was against the Panthers.
Exactly.
What
So like
week-
this is like all right, he's got a tick for like maybe he's got it, but let
He's
me
got,
watch some more
he's
games.
got like half a mark for me.
Yeah.
What week does Bryce Young come back in and get the nod?
He's not coming back.
You
don't think so?
No.
He's not coming back.
No.
Unless Andy Dalton gets hurt, he's not coming back.
No.
Like you can't put him back out there. Like the team has been like significantly better since he's been out. So
And his confidence is just like 6 feet
Yeah.
under at
But if
this
they
point.
continue to lose
Exactly.
games by 25 plus points,
You put Bryson,
yeah,
we'll
but
lose by
that's the first
50.
one. That's the first one they've lost that bad. Like the previous weeks they've lost. They've been in each game before that.
I expected the Bears to win this game, but I didn't expect it to be this much of a blowout with how Carolina's been playing. Like, was this
But the Bears defense is pretty elite. Like the Bears defense is really good.
They are.
Like,
Yeah, we are pretty high on the Bears defense.
yeah. So like, as bad as like I didn't think the Panthers would get beaten this badly. I thought the offense would do more. The Bears defense is like probably like top 5 this season right now. So like I gotta give them that. Like they're pretty good.
Yeah. If they continue to click, it's going to be interesting down the stretch this season. For the Bears offense, because their defense has never been the problem.
No,
But-
it's always the offense. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, not much to say.
But-
Bears got the W. Let's go to the Commanders and the Browns, man. Honestly, I'm you know what I'm doing the rest of the season with the locks? I'm just picking the lock to beat the Browns to lose because they are so bad, man. Like
they're pretty
they
bad.
got to
eh?
bench Deshaun
They're
Watson.
bad.
Like, get Jameis out there.
But can you though? You're paying him so much.
Just count your
Like, I feel
losses.
like at this point you gotta ride it out. I feel like even as bad as it is, like
I actually think if prime Deshaun Watson played in this game, I think the
he,
Washington
yeah,
Commanders would win because the Washington Commanders are a good football team.
They
They
are.
are.
I think
Yeah.
it's just
They're a good football team this year. I think Jaden Daniels has just been balling. He's been doing his thing.
yep,
His confidence is up. He can throw the deep ball. He can run. Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson have been both. Even there's a third back now.
they're
What's
killing
his
it.
name? There's a third back in there now. That's been playing well.
With McNichols or whatever.
Yeah,
Is that it?
Yeah,
McNichols.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been balling too. The defense just been like
Yeah,
it's
they've been good. Like nothing.
yeah.
I'm giving the Commanders credit. I didn't expect them to be this good this quickly. So
The first time they're 4-1 since like 2005 or 2000. No, 2015 maybe.
maybe
Either way, it's
I
been
think
a
it was
while.
like yeah, but yeah, Browns. They're I don't know what like they're gonna do. Like they got a lot of like. At what point do you just put Jameis Winston in? But
I think their
you're
window
paying the guy so
closed.
much.
Like they had the 2 years of Deshaun's first 2 years of his contract, where like their defense was at an all-time high. You had a healthy Nick Chubb. You had Kareem Hunt. You had all your O linemen
Yeah.
healthy. Like their team,
Joe Flacco was starting.
their
Yeah, it
te-
was great.
their team was way more
Yeah.
complete, and now it's at the point where like you've got. I mean, in Deshaun Watson's defense, you're missing 3 starting O linemen. You're missing your starting running back Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford's nothing special. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
have
but
any time in the
it's not.
pocket, and he's not
He
as
doesn't,
mobile
but
as he
at the
once
same
was.
time, like his decision making is also horrible. Like considering I get he doesn't have some of the weapons he had before. Like he doesn't even look like the same guy that was in on the Texans. Like
Not even close.
he looks like a completely different player. Like
Like just a
I get
skeleton.
lack of weapons, but like he's not the same guy that he once was.
I also want to take a step back and remind everybody that this is the Cleveland Browns we're talking about. Like probably one
Yep.
of the most like
They've
Yep.
always been a laughing
One-
stock.
they've always been one of
Well,
those franchises that could have it all in the palm of their hands and then somehow just throw it away.
Messed it up.
They
Yeah.
always do that.
So I can't say I'm surprised by this, but it
No,
sucks
me
for the
neither.
Browns fans, to be honest.
What's worse, Carolina trading away their future for a 5'10" quarterback that is benched now, or the Browns trading away their first round or their first overall quarterback to trade for Deshaun Watson, who had pending legal charges and paid him
I think it's the
guaranteed
Browns, to be honest.
$230 million. Which one's worse?
The Browns might be the
Browns.
worst contract in sports
Yeah.
history. It actually might
Like-
be if you think about it. All this guaranteed money. The only thing saving them right now is if this turns into an actual real lawsuit, a criminal lawsuit.
Yeah, that's it.
And he
That's
gets
the only
and he
thing.
gets convicted. That is
And then
literally
Yep.
the only hope that the Browns organization has right now. It's not even winning the Super Bowl. It's not even Nick Chubb
No.
coming back.
You
It's
gotta hope it.
hoping that this is a criminal investigation and he gets convicted because right now that is
And then
the
the contract's
worst
voided.
contract ever.
And let's not forget they traded a lot for Deshaun Watson. Like they traded multiple first round
They did.
picks, multiple
Oh, yeah.
second round
They did.
picks. You know what I mean? Like they
Shout out
just
to his agent.
yeah.
Like shout out to his agent.
It was-
His agent needs like a raise or something. Like
It
he's
was
the
actually
greatest agent
hilarious
on earth,
because Deshaun Watson had, I think it was Atlanta and Pittsburgh in like teams that he would go to, I think, and then the Browns. It came out that Browns were going to offer, but Deshaun wasn't interested because he had a no trade clause.
Yeah. Yeah, but then he got guaranteed money, and he's
And
like,
then,
"I'm not
and then that's what happened. The Browns sent them the most ridiculous
Yeah.
contract ever.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
oh, I can't turn that down.
No.
Even if I suck, I'm getting this much money.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that agent's getting a gold jacket, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You look back at Russell Wilson last season. Russell Wilson had like over 20 touchdowns thrown with 8 interceptions. I think he had 25 touchdowns with 8 interceptions. Man, Deshaun Watson is not on par to get anywhere even close to that, and Russell Wilson got the treatment he did last year. Browns
Yeah.
can't do that.
Well-
All of this money's guaranteed, so it's
Like
crazy.
you can't pay anybody else. Like you have to ride out.
Yeah.
Like
You're
you
trapped.
have to.
Trapped.
So yeah,
But-
Browns look horrible. Good win for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, he's arguably in the front running for MVP right now. Like crazy. Him and Sam
Well, I mean-
Darnold
I don't
battling
think,
it out.
I don't think he'll win it.
Pat Mahomes
think
is the
it's-
front runner right now.
Oh, I thought Lamar Jackson.
There's
would be
no
up there,
way. There's no
Well,
way. It's probably Lamar or.
No, it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, if we're talking about odds,
I know the odds say that, but he's
How? He's done nothing.
Well, he has 6 picks, 7 picks, and like eight or 9 touchdowns. Some of that, I don't know.
I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I think Jay and Daniels will compete for MVP, but like I can't see him winning it. He'll be offensive player.
But statistically, he's having a better season so far than C.J. Stroud did last year.
Oh, he is. He's showing it.
Interesting.
But I mean, it's a 17-game season, right? So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
Can we just skip over the Dolphins and Patriots game?
I'm fine with that.
The only thing I want to talk about is Drake Maye being.
That's
the
all
next
I want.
starter.
Yeah.
Let's just move to that.
But also, just real quick, like 10 seconds. What in the blue hell are you thinking of putting Maye behind that O line? Like, what do you think he's gonna do? Like, you think he's gonna be
in his first game? Like,
what I found kind of funny.
He's gonna be the GOAT.
I think you should probably let him sit out one more week against the Texans and then have him play. Like, that's what I would do. But whatever.
How about one more year and fix the O line?
That too.
Yeah,
just an idea.
They got to do something.
What happens.
And honestly though, even if they throw him out there and he doesn't do very well, I mean, they're not going to look at Drake Maye as the problem. You know, it's not like
I'm not expecting him to do good.
So
the bar is so low that you just have to take a step over it. That's all you have.
I thought it was pretty funny though that before the game, like, because Ramondre Stevenson has fumbled every single week since week 1, and it's like then they came out and said that he's getting benched.
He's not starting.
And then he basically played the
I didn't
whole
believe
game.
that for a second.
They didn't start with him.
He didn't get benched. He just said that he's not the starter. Which means
I didn't believe that for a second because that means nothing.
In football terms, that means that you just don't get the first snap of the game.
Yeah,
that's all it means. Is you just don't. You're not on the field to start the game.
Yeah, it's so funny though. Like watching fantasy stuff, like come up and saying like Ramondre Stevenson falling down all these rankings and trade him away. He might be droppable, and it's like he's still got the majority of the touches.
No, he's still playing.
And he's also like top 10 in rushing right now.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he might be
Despite
fumbling.
the fumbles, he's doing well.
But like, and also he's getting paid. He's getting paid. His contract's for like $26 million over 4 years.
Exactly.
So they're not paying him they're paying him a pretty penny. So they're gonna play him. Let's move to the Colts and the Jaguars. This is another good game.
It was. Shout out Jacksonville for pulling that one off because I didn't think they were going to do that.
I didn't think they were going to do it.
Alec Pierce played quite a game.
Joe Flacco. Like, at what point do you just give this guy the reins, let him start? Like,
that's what I'm saying. He is the savior of a few franchises.
Yeah.
But
the amount of teams that turned him down in the offseason is crazy to me. Like, there's so many teams that turned him down where I'm like,
why wouldn't the Browns?
Like, I heard the Dolphins. The Dolphins turned him down. Which I'm like, why would the Dolphins turn him down? Like, you should have kept him just as a backup for Tua, but whatever.
But, like, how did the Browns not resign him?
Yeah.
Like, he basically just brought you guys to the playoffs, and you guys said, nah, screw you. We're gonna keep our guy.
He wouldn't come back to player of the year. And then they go out and they sign Jameis Winston.
I think that's ownership, though. Yeah, I think that's ownership. Ownership knew that if they kept Flacco, they would have to keep him. But
what's this, guys? What's this?
I'm eating dubs.
Bro, that might be the most hilarious NFL-related video ever because he was dead serious. He was trying to get everyone in the game. He's like, guys, what's this? What's this?
No, Jameis Winston's actually the funniest human being ever. He was on a tour. He was on a tour for when he got signed to the Browns. He was on a tour. He was in a jacket, and they were working out in the room, in the weight room, and the center was working out, and he started taking snaps under center in the weight room.
Or when he tore something in his knee and he's in crutches in the locker room, like just dancing on one leg. Everyone's like hyped because the Saints won. This is like 2 years ago. Or in college when he got suspended for a game and he just got dressed and he thought he was playing still. He's like, well, the coach is like, go get changed, man.
He tried to fool everyone. It's like, dude, you can't play. Whoa.
Oh man. Or even in college, you got arrested for stealing crab legs from a restaurant. Like, bro, how is this guy even a person? Like, how is he real?
But, like, you know what? He's kind of someone I would hang out with. Like, I kind of just want to be around him to see
I would, yeah.
We should do a podcast of all the starting quarterbacks and if we would how many beers we would have with that person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many?
You know you won't be bored with Jameis.
Yeah. I'm having
J-
unlimited beers with that guy.
Jameis is
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll stop talking about Miami, New England now.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
And the
we
Colts
really
game.
did. We really did. We're talking about
Colts
Colts and
Jags are done.
Jacksonville. Yeah, that's right.
This
but-
still wasn't an impressive game for Trevor Lawrence. He's still throwing touchdowns, but this is
Hey,
what we
they
talked
got
about
their
last
first
week.
win.
Tank Bigsby's taking over that.
Our
backfield.
He's rising. He's rising.
For sure. I think Etienne's just the receiving back now. Etienne.
I think so.
I think he's just
I
receiving
also
back.
didn't realize he's like in a contract year too, so like he might be gone after this year.
Oh, he'll go somewhere. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
He'll go somewhere and start.
So Tank is definitely the future.
Yeah, I agree. Because they don't have to pay him anything.
Yeah. But
What round did Bigsby go in?
He was a third round pick.
I'm not
Third,
sure,
third.
maybe
Yeah, he was a third round.
Yeah.
I'll
They
look
don't
right
pay
now.
him a whole lot.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Jacksonville and Jacksonville's
Yeah, third
all right.
round, 88th overall.
They gotta win. That's all you can ask for.
Brian
we're trying
Thomas,
to go.
he's still
Gotta win.
looking like the wide receiver
looking
one,
good.
bona fide.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville was the last team that was undefeated, or
It was.
the opposite of undefeated.
Or winless, yeah.
Winless?
They're the last
Yeah.
ones.
Ron, why don't we move to your Bills and Texans game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not really much to say other than that was easily the worst game that we've seen from a quarterback in a long time. And I don't even want to put all the burden on Josh Allen just because his receivers weren't catching much. The coaching at the end there, don't even get me started on that. I don't know why we threw the ball
Clock
3
management
times.
was just
Yeah, I
pathetic,
don't know.
bro. Just
And
run
I
the
want
ball.
to say, I do want to say that this has been a problem with the Bills for the last few years. Is that in big situations, I think McDermott just chokes and he does like it's not good game management situations. I do want to say though, a silver lining from this game is the fact that the Bills played such a bad game of football, and the score was 23-3 against the Houston Texans, who are 4-1. So that's the only thing I'm taking away from that.
23-20.
23-20, yes.
It was a close
Sorry.
game still. Like
So
they're
it was
still
a-
in
it
it
was a-
despite how bad they played.
Like, and realistically, we should have won that. Like, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
Well, this is
I
a game
think-
without Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. You know, like those are pretty big focal points of the
Nico
offense.
played.
Yeah.
Nico played for the
He
first
still
quarter.
played though.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm not putting that. Like I get obviously Nico got hurt after the first touchdown, but like he still was a factor in the game. Like
for sure. And I'm
Yeah.
even if he stayed in, but we also had our rookie safety starting for the first time, Cole Bishop.
exactly.
So that was like he got burned on that 67-yard touchdown by Nico.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, of course, too. The Bills' run game is probably the worst.
Yeah.
Well, the run D is probably the worst run
Yeah.
D
Cam Akers had a
in the
game.
league.
Hey
So,
man,
yeah,
don't,
exactly.
hey man, our
right?
Cardinals are still there. Our run defense
Yeah,
is probably
true.
worse.
But
That's true.
I also we didn't play with Khalil. Like Khalil, as much as
If
as
Khalil
I hate to
Shakur
say
is
it,
your difference maker in your offense, I think you have a problem, man.
I think we do have a problem because Keon Coleman is wow. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say.
I don't know about that guy.
He needs to look for the football and catch the football.
Well,
Yeah.
I never really thought much of Keon Coleman coming out of college because his combine was atrocious. He ran a 4.64, nothing
Yeah, he's not
nothing
very fast, yeah.
extravagant. His route running has never been the focal point of his game. He's basically the focal point of his game, and he's a big body, super
He's a jump ball guy.
raw. Like he needs
Yeah.
to develop, and he's not gonna develop much in the wide receiver one role on like a powerhouse offense borderline, right? So I think you guys need to get some sort of receiver, whether it's Deontay Johnson, whether it's Devontae Adams, whether it's whatever.
I think it's Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper would be
Oh.
great with you guys.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if it's a take or not because I do watch him play every week. I don't really see a big difference between Deontay Johnson and Khalil Shakir. I don't see a massive difference.
I
I don't see a massive
They're completely
difference between
different receivers.
Yeah. Deontay's
Not like-
I feel like Deontay's more like
I think that's the Bills
a threat.
bias there because Deontay
I
Johnson's
don't
a
know
good
though, but like
receiver,
if
man.
you but if you like but Deontay's after like his yards after catch is awesome. So is
Yeah.
Khalil's.
But Deontay
Like,
Johnson
Khalil
is
makes
one
his
of the
mo-
better route runners in the league. Like on paper,
Yeah,
like
he is.
statistically, his separation on his route running is pretty good. He's never had a good quarterback since Big Ben in his like rookie year.
I mean, I guess so. I'm just like Khalil's just he's a consistent guy.
He's a plug.
He has-
He's a
he
plug and
has
play.
the
He's middle
NFL
of the pack.
plug and play.
He has the NFL record for what was it? The most consecutive catches to start your career.
But what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
a guy like Keon Coleman. It's obvious he's not like the smartest guy. You know,
No, he
he's
needs.
not a Marvin Harrison where like he doesn't need someone to
He's
teach
not
him things.
NFL
He
ready.
needs a mentor. Like
No, he's not.
he needs
Yep,
someone
he
to
does.
show him like, okay, maybe you should have like turned at this point of your route, not here. Like
Yep.
Yeah,
but there's no one
he
in that
needs someone.
offense that can do
Yeah,
that right
exactly.
now.
Because
No.
they're all so
No one.
raw. Like they're all so
Curtis
Exactly.
Samuel is 27, but he's never had a
Like
game
who?
over 100 yards.
Mac Hollins. Like is
Matt
that our bet?
Collins.
Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think you
yeah,
guys, for his development, need to get someone in there too. Like just
and then all that to say though, 23 to 20, I can't be too mad at it. Like it should have been 20 to 3. Like it should have really been. James Cook's awesome.
yeah, he's
Yeah. He's your guy. Like
He's pretty
holding this
awesome.
team together.
he fixed
Oh,
his
yeah,
fumbling
like-
issue too, which is what my
Well,
biggest issue
which is
with,
good.
with him
Knock
was,
on wood. I don't know. We'll see.
because that was the biggest
On the-
issue last year was his fumbling. Like
Yeah.
so, yeah. Let's move on. Let's go to the let's just go to the Raiders and Bengals. Or sorry, the Ravens and Bengals.
Ravens and Bengals.
Yeah. This was a
I
game.
think we've already briefly talked about this game. Like that overtime
Jamar
was
Chase
crazy.
went crazy.
Like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's
Derrick
running that overtime. Wow.
Lamar Jackson fumbles. Bengals get it.
Yeah.
They don't move the ball, but they're in field goal range. Muffed hold on the
Oh
kick.
my God, that was just brutal.
And then
That's a
McPherson
bad hold.
wide left. And then
He,
Ravens just
he had no chance with that. That's on the placeholder.
yeah,
Like
it wasn't McPherson at all.
no, I like just watching the replay. Like the guy messed it up so bad.
It does,
But whatever.
Derrick Henry is a prime example as to why you should just never listen to any fantasy analyst ever and just go with whatever you want to go with. Because
Like just think about it. Just think about it from this. Derrick Henry going to a run-heavy offense with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
If you told me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm drafting first
or
overall.
Yeah.
even let's go to the Chargers.
Yep.
They get a coach that loves to run the ball in Jim
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Yep.
And
Yep.
for whatever reason, both of the running backs in fantasy for the Chargers, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, were like 14, 15 round running backs. It's like, why are they
Why?
so overlooked?
What do we think?
Why are we getting
like,
sweet?
sometimes-
Like let's just look at it.
You know what?
Look at the facts,
Honestly,
yeah.
what I've learned from this year, one of the biggest takeaways is that I'm just gonna do my own thing. Like some of these commentators and like the fantasy guys are just so biased and like wanting the new hotness. It's like sometimes you just gotta go with old reliable.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Like
I don't know.
go with what's already been proven. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm just gonna go with it until it's broken. Like that's kind of what my logic is with it from now on. But
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big believer in Henry anyway. I wouldn't have touched him, but just looking at the overall picture is like, yeah, it makes sense if he's doing good. Like it really
Yeah.
does.
To put it in perspective, I took Josh Jacobs in the third round over Derrick Henry,
Yeah,
which is crazy
Yeah,
to look
Milan.
at now because it's like obviously they're having two different seasons.
yeah.
But
yeah, but
anyways,
Either way,
is-
this game was pretty good. Jamar Chase played good. T. Higgins played all right.
great game.
yeah, Joe Burrow,
Burrow.
Offense is clicking for Bengals is just the defense.
5
just can't seem to
touchdowns,
stop anyone.
1 interception, and he still gets the loss.
Yeah, I combined
Yeah.
79 points. Like it's
Yeah.
like a college game basically at this point.
It was a great game though. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's get at the Raiders and Broncos game out of the way. Bo Nix, he looked okay.
Yeah,
Jav-
good,
Bronco.
good game for himself. Like
Javante
I
Williams
didn't
looked
think the
good.
Broncos were gonna beat the Raiders that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, Pat Surtain with an 100-yard pick six.
That was
Yeah.
nice. And then that was just Pat Surtain being Pat Surtain. He's bona fide
Yeah.
best cornerback in the league, like no question.
I think
Oh,
so
no,
too.
I think
But
so.
also the Broncos are quiet. Like they're not a
They have
defense
a
is
very
nice.
good. They have a very underrated defense for sure. Even Zach Allen,
Yeah.
like he was playing for the Cardinals last year, and he had a good season last year. He's having a tremendous season this year. Like
Is that who's that?
he's
Is that
he's the DN for the Broncos. He's like the
Okay.
best D lineman on their team.
who's the white corner for the Broncos?
Oh, he
Oh, the guy that got the interception?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
First interception from a white
Yeah.
cornerback since 03. That's crazy.
So you're
Man.
telling me me and Connor did have a chance? Darn.
Yeah, he just didn't play the right position.
Yeah.
Should have played
Stick
corner
with
Just
it
didn't play our cards right, Con.
Yeah, I know.
But
I don't know. I mean, speaking of cards, I don't really need to talk about this Denver and Las Vegas game a whole lot. We can move right into that
let's move
San
on.
Fran Arizona game.
Yeah, man, dude,
Yeah.
what a game! This was the first game all season that the Arizona played as a conclusive team. Like their defense, their offense, it was all clicking on all cylinders. Play calling was great, but the defense has been like what the Cardinals have been like struggling with all year, and their defense showed up, man. Like they held a pretty good offense to 21 points, or sorry, 23 points, and got the win. So
Yeah, I mean,
the difference on offense for this game was they finally started to incorporate some design runs for Kyler Murray, because that's what makes that offense so dangerous.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
well, it makes defenses worry about that dual threat capability.
Like he had a
right?
50-yard rush.
Yard run was
His first
fantastic.
rush of the game.
Mhm.
50. His first rush of the
To the
game was
house.
50 yards to the house.
Whereas like the previous week, it's like why were like it seemed like they had no design runs for him, which I'm like, you got to design some runs for him like every game. I feel like, but
And he's
Yeah.
pretty smart with the football. Like he doesn't take hits.
Yeah.
He's not like a Jaden Daniels or Trevor
no,
Lawrence
he knows
running
when
stupid,
he knows
right?
when to stop. Like he knows what he should be doing out there considering his size.
And he's slippery
So-
too. Like he knows when to
Yep.
when to try and elude guys and when to slide. So I'm
Yep.
excited. This team has like potential. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to, make the playoffs or anything, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing from this team. I think the
Yeah, they
future's
just gotta
bright.
they just gotta stay consistent. And, I
Yep.
mean, from the other side, San Fran. I mean, Purdy looked very subpar. He didn't look like a good quarterback.
No.
The team in general didn't look like they want to win that football game at all.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be that 49ers down year for them. Like there's just too much things going on.
Another thing
Yeah.
that's kind of
To
exciting
go
from
deep.
the Cardinals' perspective is Darius Robinson, the guy that we drafted in the first round. He's like a third down D lineman, kind of good pass rush guy, massive frame on him. He's like 6'5", almost 300 pounds. He hasn't played all year. He's been on the IR, and he's going to be coming back this week. So hopefully we see,
We'll see
see
what
what happens there.
Yeah.
So let's
Cool.
let's move on to the Green Bay and the Rams game. I don't know why this game is so close.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I honestly can't tell you. Like some guys popped off. Like I put a graph at a game, but like
Tucker
Oh, like-
Kraft, man, he's having
Yeah.
a Trey McBride season last year, man. Like he's emerging as
Yeah.
one of the top fantasy tight ends in the league.
for sure. This was a game I didn't pay close attention to. It was a bit of a weird game, and you're right. I don't know why it's so close. Like I don't know why it's as close as it should
Well,
be.
from
Why
what
it shouldn't
I've
be.
gathered, Jordan Love, I don't know if it's like Russ from being off for the 2 weeks he missed, or if it's like
He's still hurt.
if he's playing through injury, but he doesn't look like the same Jordan Love we saw week 1, week 2.
No.
Like he looks
No, not at all.
doesn't look as poised in the pocket, does not make as good of decisions. So
It could be from injury, but they also put a lot of trust in him for only for a small sample size. He really only started performing halfway through last season.
True.
And then they gave him the keys. They gave him the keys to the car.
he
right?
could be a Joe
Yeah,
Joe Burrow
exactly.
who just starts the season that kind of slow, So
Yeah, it could be a Joe Burrow. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But we
without
got the win, so Packers can't get too mad about it.
without Kyron Williams, though, the Rams' offense
so bad.
is like non-existent
Yeah.
at this point. Obviously, this is with their other injuries to Puka, to Cooper Cup, but at this point, without Kyron Williams, man, that team is atrocious. Like
I think they're going to turn around. Like Cooper Cup's at least coming back after their bye,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like we'll see what happens after that. But
Maybe run the tables. But yeah,
It's
Kyron scored like
gonna be rough.
he scored at least a touchdown in the last 9 games.
I can't
he's
believe
carrying that team.
Jeff isn't going to trade me Cooper Cup. He's 0-5. Cooper Cup's on your bench. He's not helping you, bro. You need some wins.
My team has just been unlucky. Like
It has been.
I find
Your
it funny
points
that
against.
I find it funny that like people trying to trade me like garbage trades, and I'm like I'm 0-5. Why would I trade you to get even worse? Like
I feel like the trade
I
I
think
sent
I
you
got
was
an offer-
reasonable.
What was the trade?
no, it wasn't your trade that bothered me today. It was like I think it was Brandon's. Brandon's like
Oh,
sending me
his is
like
aw his are
Jennings
awful, man.
for
Cooper Cup?
no, it was Jennings for Gibbs, which I'm not even gonna humor
That
this. Like
yeah.
I just declined instantly. Like
For
so
context,
like
I sent Jeff Dallas Goddard and Michael Pittman for Cooper Cup, which I think is reasonable.
which I have Kincaid. I don't need a tight
But
end, so like it
I
doesn't make sense
figured
for me
I
to
figured you might be looking for a tight end because Kincaid's been
no
doing what?
no.
He's doing nothing all year. They don't feature him at all.
If there's one thing in fantasy, I don't roster two QBs, two tight ends. So like I don't care how shitty that guy is, I'll drop them before I roster a second one and play that roulette game of like who's gonna be the better guy. Like I hate doing that. So
That's fair.
You're just making the decision basically beforehand.
yeah, like so like as much as Goddard's like going off, like if Goddard was on the waiver wire, sure I'll pick him up. But like then I'm just playing like who am I starting every week, which I'm like I'm not gonna play that game. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah,
we'll see.
I think the Packers aren't looking as promising as they were at the start of the season, but obviously, we don't know if Jordan Love's fully
We'll
healthy.
see what happens.
They're missing Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Romeo Doubs didn't play in this game. Dontavian Wicks was projected to have a great game. He did nothing in this game.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs scored his first touchdown, which is good to see. Yeah, let's move to the Giants and the Seahawks game. Big win for the Giants without
Huge.
Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
What's
And
going
that
on?
was after the Seahawks had like a 99-yard return.
Yeah,
is crazy.
that fumble return for like
Yeah.
101 yards.
Yeah, that's
Crazy. Crazy.
Which I'm like, I don't know how they choked that, but
Yeah, no, the
don't know.
Giants. Shout out the Giants. I think we
But,
got
like-
this one wrong in our pick'em, that's for sure.
we definitely did. But I've started like I can't remember where I heard it, but I kind of heard like a hangover of like whoever plays the Lions the next week they kind of just played badly.
I did see that.
So, So I don't know if it's just like a
Because the week
hangover from
before,
playing the Lions.
the Cardinals
Yeah,
played.
like they played the Lions.
Yeah, the Cardinals played them. The Cardinals
Yeah.
played the Lions, and the next week they got absolutely smoked by Washington.
Yeah,
Same
so,
happened
like,
to
it's
the
kind of been a
Rams.
trend.
The Rams played the
So
Lions, and then they played the Cardinals, and then they got
yeah,
taken by the Cardinals. It's pretty crazy, but
yeah. Well, good on the Giants for getting that win. I don't think anyone thought they would could beat the Seahawks. So
I figured the Seahawks were going to slow down. Like they were at top of the league for passing. I didn't think that was sustainable.
Yeah.
You got Geno Smith under center, which you know what he's
leading the league
Yeah.
in passing yards. I don't know about after this week,
but you know what like kudos to Geno Smith. He's defied all odds at this point of his career, but that's not sustainable. I don't care what anyone says.
no, but I don't know. It was a good
Right.
game.
They
On to the
also
next one.
neutralized Kenneth Walker like pretty well too. The New York Giants have
Yeah.
they're another team that is a little bit underrated for defense, I would say, especially their D line.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just their offense can't keep up. Sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
with Daniel Jones, like you don't know what Daniel Jones you're gonna get.
But now you got Wanda Robinson, you got Darius Slayton. They're producing without a Malik Neighbors, so it's like it's
Yeah.
kind of an interesting team right now.
Well, maybe
Yeah, but-
Daniel Jones has a bit of confidence because of Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get the Cowboys and Steelers out of the way.
I didn't even like.
I actually watched this game.
But I
You
I have
guys
nothing
didn't
on
miss
this
much.
game.
This game was it was Dak Prescott throwing a couple of bonehead interceptions. CeeDee Lamb yelling at him
saw
on the
CD
sideline.
get
sidelines.
So the
mad at him,
normal.
yeah, I saw that on. I think I don't know where I saw that, but I saw CD kind of lipping at him.
Yeah, I feel like he's always lipping at him now.
Probably it's Dak.
Like I feel like every week there's something going on with CD and Dak. Like
Dak
not getting
looks
the ball
depressed
enough to, like,
nine
Yeah.
times out of 10 when
Yeah.
when the camera pans to him. He just looks like he looks so
Yeah.
sad.
There's this
Exactly.
there's no camaraderie on that team. It feels like.
No,
No.
it's not.
I
No.
wonder if because Dak's obviously supposed to be like kind of that leadership like leader role, right? I wonder if he's kind of lost the locker room a little bit.
The locker room. I bet he has.
I think the coach
Probably,
has like
but-
lost the locker room 2 years ago. I don't think he's had the locker room, like
No.
Yeah, they keep doing well in the regular season, then choking in the playoffs. So like that can only go on for so long before like everyone starts doubting it.
I feel like I feel like the Eagles and the Cowboys are in the exact same situation. Even though the Eagles have had more postseason success than the Cowboys, both of their coaches are in the same kind of situation where
Yeah.
they don't have the locker room and they're on the complete hot seat, and their quarterbacks take a lot of flack for why they lose sometimes. Even though, like,
I'd even throw the Bills in that conversation, to be honest.
I don't
Yeah.
know, I don't
I
know,
would.
I don't know.
I would. Well, I think coaching's a big problem in Buffalo. I think Josh Allen takes a lot of heat. I mean, granted, he does get a lot of praise. Like
Yeah.
it's a double like it goes both ways. But like think about it, the Bills really haven't done anything in the playoffs. Like they've made it
We'll
to
see
an
what
one
happens.
AFC Championship game. They're
Yeah.
great in the regular season, but they just can't get the job done. Coaching's always been sort of an issue.
Yeah.
I just think Doug McDermott still has that locker room like pretty well though.
Yeah, he probably does.
That's
Yeah.
where I find it different. I do agree with you in the fact that, like, okay, if they get to the wild card or first round in the playoffs and then they lose, okay, we got to turn something here. You know, we got to change. We got to make a change
See,
somewhere.
I feel like out of all of them, like Bills probably have the most leeway in terms of not getting as far this season because of all the changes that they dealt with. Like the
That's true.
Cowboys,
They've
the
faced a
Eagles,
lot of
like
adversity for
they
sure.
have a short leash. Like Cowboys, I feel like there's gonna be a firing at the end of the season if they don't make it past the first round. Like,
Hmm.
and they don't even look like they're gonna make the playoffs sometimes.
I think the
So who
GM
knows
has
what's
to
gonna
get
happen
fired,
there?
man. Like, what were you sleeping through the entire free agency process?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a clean house situation there, but we'll see what happens. Like
If
Cowboys got the win, or Cowboys got the win, so like I don't know, but it wasn't a great win.
Yep.
And another thing is,
But
if the Steelers keep losing the way they are, I don't I wonder if Russell Wilson makes an appearance somewhere down the line. You know,
yeah,
Mike
I don't.
Tomlin has came out and said like it's still up in the air. Like they 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 brought Russell Wilson to play like here to play. They didn't bring him here to be a backup. So we'll see what happens type thing. If they keep
Let's
losing
see. Fields
games,
is the future though. Like Fields, if I had to pick between Fields and Russell right now, like I'm keeping the guy that I'm gonna have more than one season. So like that's Fields to me. So like
yeah,
as much as like Russ, yeah, he's obviously well more known. Like he doesn't have many years left. Like
I
I'm
agree.
sorry, like I'm sorry, Russ. Like you had a good time, but like I gotta prepare for my future. Like you're not really the future of our franchise here.
Plus,
So
Russ sucks.
that too.
let's finish off with a
But
boring game. Chiefs and Saints.
yeah,
Man,
Kareem Hunt looked all right.
yeah, Kareem
he
Hunt had a
did.
day and a
He looks
half.
good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, for two guys who no team really wanted, or no, yeah, no team really wanted these two guys, Smith
Yeah.
Schuster and Hunt, and somehow they.
They looked well.
I don't know if I agree with that though because there was teams offering Hunt contracts for the last 2 years. I think he's the type of guy that's not going to go into a situation that doesn't make sense for him. Like the Browns, he already knew last season when the Browns signed him halfway through the season when Nick Chubb went down. He already knew the offense, and
Plus, that's his hometown.
and yeah, and he's familiar with it. And then the Chiefs, it's obviously a good offense. He's familiar
And he's
with
familiar
it.
with it. Yeah, yeah.
So
I guess he's okay with
yeah,
not being a star guy, just making a little bit of money and
and I think that's
Yeah.
smart because at that point of your career, like Kareem Hunt's 28 years old, like if you're gonna go to a team like Carolina or like a team that's sorry to kind of single you guys out, but like a team with a bad offensive line that's you're just gonna get beat down. Like you don't have much more miles on
Yep.
your
It's not
frame.
worth it.
So
yeah,
No.
as
You're
a
playing
running
for
back, I agree.
you're playing for a contract, right? So you want to go somewhere where you're actually going to do well.
and then it's pretty easy to get phased out as a running back in this league. Get sent down to the
Oh
practice
yeah.
squad. Like he's
Look
not
at
that
Dalvin
guy.
Cook. Dalvin Cook's such a good example of that. Dalvin Cook, a
Yep.
season before he got phased out, was a great running back.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
now who is he?
Yep.
yeah. He's
Not
on
the
the
same
he's
guy.
on the Dallas practice squad. I think
Practice squad, yeah, exactly.
Practice
he
squad.
hasn't made a
Like,
single. I don't think he's even played, has he?
no.
So yeah,
No.
another Chiefs
But
win. Derek Carr went down with an injury. He's expected to miss multiple weeks. I just got a notification that Michael Pittman is out multiple weeks, so that kind of sucks. I just traded for him.
oh damn,
Way she
no way.
goes, I guess.
Nico
Yeah.
Collins on IR too. That's
Yeah. And I think Derek Carr's on IR. Like I heard Spencer Rattler's playing for the Saints. Like he's gonna be the starter. So we'll see what happens with the Saints now. Like I think
nah.
the ball's kind of dropping now from their good start of the season.
I'm glad I made that Tank Dell trade though, because my receivers without Nico and now Michael Pittman, I'm gonna need Tank Dell.
I had Rashi and Nico, and now they're both beside each other, hanging out on IR. So,
well, hopefully Rasheed's not driving wherever they're hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's driving me crazy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can't drive with that broken up knee. But
I think this was the most exciting, nail biting week of the NFL this season, though. Like,
I agree.
So many close games.
To cap it all, let's do our power rankings.
Yeah.
Just quickly get through those.
I'll let you guys go first.
Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
So my power rankings, number 5, I have the Ravens coming back in. I have number 4, I have the Texans. Number 3, I have the Lions. Number 2, I have the Vikings, and number 1, I have the Chiefs. So Vikings, they're kind of competing for that first spot with me. Like, unfortunately, like I expected the Vikings to kind of beat up the Jets a lot more than what happened. So that's why they stayed at 2. But for the other ones, they all kind of proved against pretty good opponents what they can do. Besides the Lions who had a bye, but they already kind of.
The Lions are kind of an established team, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
On you go ahead.
Yeah, so 5 I got Baltimore, 4 I got Washington, 3 I got the Lions, 2 Minnesota, 1 KC. I just got to respect the 4-1 from Washington. Baltimore, I mean, I had them in my top 5, and they pulled out a nice win. Bills are obviously out; they're like top 15 now. And then KC, respect KC. Minnesota, respect Minnesota with the 5-0. But I do think KC's the better 5-0 team. And Lions, they haven't changed anything for me.
Yeah.
So you have Lions number 2 then?
3, Minnesota number 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I actually have the Commanders at number 5. I wanted to put Baltimore, but with how their records are, Washington's 5-1, Baltimore's 3-2, and Baltimore also lost to the Raiders, which is like, it's hard not to turn a blind eye to that. So Washington's looked phenomenal. I don't know if it's sustainable, but as of right now, I have them at 5. At number 4, I have the Houston Texans. At number 3, I have the Lions. Number 2, I have the Vikings, and number 1, I have the Chiefs. I agree with Jeff. I needed to see another powerhouse week for Minnesota to keep them in that number 1 spot, and I just didn't. So it wasn't a conclusive game for Minnesota. Like they got the win, but they got the win because the Jets are looking atrocious.
Or the Jets.
Yeah. So.
All right, locks and upsets for this week.
All right.
I will go first. I think the Texans win. I think they're playing the Patriots. So Texans against the Patriots. And I picked Jacksonville for my sleeper. I'm not too sure why I picked Jacksonville, but I did pick Jacksonville. They're playing. I think they're underdogs right now against the Bears. I just don't think the Bears are going to come back, come out and dominate Jacksonville. So we'll see.
All right.
So my.
Want to go next?
You want to go next, Jeff?
No, you go.
So my sleeper, I actually have Denver beating the Chargers. This is going to be like a coach's game. It's Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. You know, it's going to be an interesting game. I don't really have a reason, but I just have a gut feeling. And then I have the same lock as Connor. I don't think Drake May comes out guns blazing and wins them the game over the Texans. So I got the Texans beating the Patriots for my lock.
Okay. All right. I was kind of on the same page with my lock, but I kind of figured the Texans would be a top pick, so I wanted to do something different. So I went with the Falcons this time. I think after that last game, they're going to be kind of hot. They're facing the Panthers, so...
Ouch,
I know it's
your own team.
It makes me worried it's a divisional game, and Panthers at home, but like I just have more faith in the Falcons right now to win this game. And then my lock, or my sleeper, is the Jaguars. And this is simply just because Jaguars in London, this is like a home game for them. So like,
for whatever reason.
I I
Yeah,
was
they
gonna
always
take.
do it in London.
Yeah, they always do. They're a good team in London, but
Yeah.
I was almost gonna take the Jets against the Bills this
Dude,
week
so was
as my
I.
lock. I
So
was close.
I had the Jets and against the Bills until Robert Saleh got released. I'm like,
I think that's even more
I think
of
that's
a
the reason
catalyst.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you have time to go over our picks for the week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I have
what
time for
we
this one.
okay. So what?
So
How,
this
how did
week,
we do this week?
this week is another down week,
no.
unfortunately. A lot of
Are we
bad,
positive?
a lot of bad upsets. No, so this week we ended up 5-9.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
So
What's our overall
where we
record?
right now, I'd have to calculate it.
Are we over
I'll
500?
I'll get it for you for next episode.
Okay.
But right now, like from what we lost the Bucks, we lost the Jets, we lost the Patriots, and the Colts. But like the ones where it was the worst was probably the Raiders, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Steelers. But
Overall, are
So
we
we chose the
positive?
Steelers, chose the Rams. We don't know
yeah,
yet. He's gonna equal it.
I
Or
got
he's gonna calculate it.
overall we're just slightly positive. Like we have two more wins,
Oh man,
but
that's
our
Hey,
last
we're
2 weeks
still
have killed us.
positive.
But
We still got a
we're
chance.
that's
still
all that matters.
positive.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
though? I like from what I've like watched, like the podcast that I've watched, um, the no one's been picking very well. The last 2 weeks have been like atrocious
No, it's
all
been
around.
bad.
I think Vegas is
Well,
losing money.
we also picked before the
I
season.
know,
Like
so we got to give
I,
Yeah,
I
ourselves some
think
credit.
yeah.
I think there's a
We're
chance
handicapped.
we would have picked Denver over Las Vegas this week.
Yep.
There's a chance we would have picked, like Green Bay over Los Angeles. There's a chance that we would have picked like
Yeah.
a few different ones, but I mean,
So we're
again,
doing
this
well
is just
considering we did this like in the summer. So I can't
Yeah,
complain
it's
about it.
hard to like we're yeah. Why would we have projected the Rams to beat Green Bay in any way, shape, or form with how
Exactly.
many injuries they have?
The Giants to beat the
yeah,
Seahawks. Like there's certain games where you're like, some of these games were like, okay, I can see
yeah,
why this is a loss because like it's changed since the start of the year. But
yeah, absolutely.
all
Um,
right,
yeah.
all right.
So that concludes our episode. I think we're on 13 now, guys. So we'll see you guys.
Yeah,
We'll see you guys next week. Next week we'll have a little more time. We'll do a couple of games at the end. So we'll see you guys
yeah,
next
a
week.
little more conversation for sure.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
Hey, see you,
Cheers.
boys.